everyone, I'm Annette J. Beveridge and I'm back with another One Eye On news channel. Now, yesterday I wrote an article about the state of journalism, and it wasn't intended to, sort of to give a complete negative feel about journalism, because as someone who studied for journalism and has written for a newspaper, then, obviously it's something that I care about. The news is important, right? We need to be able to trust it. And that's the thing that I'm getting at, because everybody has their own perception about things that happen. And that's pretty much based on the information that we get given by authority figures throughout our life. It's about the experiences we have. It all shapes the way we see the world. So, as a journalist, if I am writing a piece for a newspaper, then it would be all too easy to write it from my own perspective. And so whilst there are unscrupulous journalists who are obviously trying to hook you with some tasty little tidbit and reel you in to read the article, most journalists obviously want to get you to read the article, but the article may be seen through the prism of their own eyes. And that's so easy to do. And I can remember being hauled up on it myself when I was writing something about nature. Now, it was factual, but yes, it was about my views, to a certain degree, at least. So, you have to be really careful as a journalist. And I think this is where people that buy newspapers, and I see it all the time, so they buy a newspaper that adheres to their own slant, their own kind of perspective of what they think is going on in the world, and therefore the news then embeds that belief. I think that can be a bit dangerous. I would really like to roll back, the whole journalism thing, so that we actually just write about the news. I'm all for opinion pieces. I mean, this is me, having an opinion. So opinion pieces are fine if they are deemed as such. If the journalist says, this is my thoughts on this, and then. But I think where it does get dangerous, and I see this a lot on social media, people are spouting about things that appear in some newspapers. And of course, it's been written with a certain slant to capture that readership, to attract attention. Now, that's not illegal. Of course it's not. And if you carry on buying those specific newspapers, what you're going to get is information that meets your own agenda. So what you think is happening in the world, it's not necessarily quite what is happening. It's why I set up One Eye On news channel, and I set up a newsletter recently, Annette J. Beveridge News .substack.com, so you can sort of go and check that out if you want, and I'll be putting my thoughts down on paper and of course doing some videos. But journalism, I think it's something that's quite precious. I mean, it's been going a long time. It's had to adapt to the changes, so whereas newspapers now have to fight for every sale. So you can understand why there's headlines that, are there to incite attention and to grab you, even if the headlines can be a bit misleading. So all I would say is, sadly, I'm not in a position to turn the clock back, but I would say that most people need to be just careful with what they're reading. Yes, it's news. It will be based upon news or information given to the journalist, but it doesn't mean it's completely factual. That's it for me right now. I'm Annette J. Beveridge, and this is One Eye On News Channel.